Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we have a huge makeup haul, and I'm not kidding. This might be the biggest one I've ever done. We have a little bit of everything. I have some Sephora stuff, lots of the new launches. I did an Ulta order. I cashed in a bunch of Ulta points, and I also have some things that I bought at the cosmetics company store recently, so I figured I will do a haul and a try on. I'm not going to be able to try on every single one of these things, but we'll try on as many things as we can, and everything else you'll see in future videos. But that is today's video. It's going to be a long one, so grab some coffee or water or whatever you're drinking. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Stick around, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into all the new fun makeup. All right, the first thing I bought from Sephora is actually this new sunscreen. This is the In Beauty Project Mineral Sun Glow. This one is in fair medium. It comes in 2 shades. This is the lighter one, and this is all mineral. It's 14.2% zinc oxide. And this is, I think, the only thing here that's not a first impression. I've been using this, so I can kind of give you my thoughts on it, but it looks like this. It's in really cute pink tube, and I tried to buy this a few different times in store, but the fair medium shade was always sold out, so I ended up ordering mine, but we're going to use this today. I typically prefer a non-tinted SPF for underneath makeup. If I use tinted, it's usually on days where I'm not wearing makeup or I'm wearing very little makeup on top. I have worn a good bit of makeup over this one though, so it looks like this. It has a tint, but it's nothing crazy. Like, it really doesn't give you coverage in any way. It just has like a slight tint to it, but once you blend it in, you really can't see the tint at all. And another thing I like about this is a glowy SPF, but it's not a metallic glow. For me, like Glow Screen, for example, from Supergoop, is a nice SPF, but first of all, it's chemical. So if you don't like chemical sunscreens, that one is chemical, and that one is almost too glowy for me. This one gives you some glow, but it's not too much in my opinion. So I have really been enjoying this. I've been using this for about, I guess, like 2 weeks now, and I really, really like it. So you can see this is it on my skin after like 5 minutes or so. So it does have glow, but it's not metallic looking. I know if you've tried Glow Screen, maybe you know what I mean. It's a different type of glow. This is more of like a hydrated, I've applied a ton of skincare kind of glow, whereas that one is just like a highlighter kind of glow. I like this though, and I haven't had any trouble with it pilling, which is great. All right, I'm a little overwhelmed because I don't really know what to do first, but I think we're gonna go in with this. I told you I was gonna try this. I cashed in my Ulta points for this. The Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Tint. I feel like I'm the last person on this planet to try this out, but we're gonna try this today. Obviously this is a light coverage product, so I'll add more coverage with concealer after the fact, because this is the only skin tint foundation type product that I have. So we're gonna start with this. Now it does come with this little brush. I don't know if I'm gonna use this or not, but it does come with this little kabuki brush, and it looks like this. I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with this product. Now, I can't ever remember how I'm supposed to apply this. I guess we'll use the brush. It comes with the brush, so I'm guessing they want you to use the brush. And I got the shade Medium Light. I was kind of unsure of what shade to get because I've been self-tanning a lot lately and I didn't want to get one that's too light, but I also didn't want to get one that's too dark where I have to be a specific color to pull it off. So I just went with medium light. Hopefully it's okay. So there it is there. It's very watery. It's running down my hand. So I guess I'm just gonna go in. Oh. Okay, so there's like an immediate cooling sensation. Interesting. I literally felt like this wash of coolness come over my face. That was really weird. Also have no clue how much you're like meant to apply of this. Maybe I should use my hands. If you have this product, let me know how you like to apply it. Because I feel like using this brush, I'm having to use a lot of it because I haven't even put anything on my forehead yet. Definitely, I would agree. Just a tint. So not even, I wouldn't even say this is like light coverage. Okay, I looked on Chanel.com and I applied it the way they suggest applying it, which is from the back of your hand with this brush that they included. So I did apply it correctly, I guess. I'm gonna see what happens if you add more. I don't think this is supposed to be a buildable product, but I just kind of want to try it since I've never used this before. I will say it looks it looks really nice on my skin. It doesn't give much coverage at all, if any, but it did kind of, I don't even know what the word is. It just kind of made my skin look more smooth, a little bit blurring almost. Not that it diminishes pores or anything like that, but it just made my skin look more smooth overall without giving a ton of coverage or anything. So I do think this is one of those things. It does kind of set down as well. After you've put it on, it looks very, very glowy, but then it seems to kind of set just a little. So I like it. All right, so it's been like 5 more minutes now. And I mean, it looks pretty on my skin, just not a lot of coverage, but I didn't expect there to be. I mainly wanted this as a very lightweight, lighter coverage product to use with concealer over the top because that's what I do 9 times out of 10 day to day. I don't even use like a typical foundation, but it looks nice. Looks nice. And it does have the glow still, but it's not as glowy as it looked initially. So interested to see how concealer will look over the top of this. But I do not have a new color corrector, so I'm just going to use the one I have sitting here, which is Huda Beauty. This one is in Cherry Blossom. And then I also have Pink Pomelo sitting here. So I'm going to take just a tiny bit of Pink Pomelo right in the very inner corner where I have the most darkness. And I want to show you something I got at the cosmetics company store. So I love this brush. I've had this brush for years at this point. This is the Smashbox Blurring Concealer Brush. And sometimes you can find the Smashbox brushes at cosmetics company stores. So when I went, they had so many of these brushes and they were 75% off, y'all. 75% off. So I think I paid like $6 for this brush. So I bought a second one because I love this one. And then I also got this one. This is the sheer powder brush from Smashbox. I don't own this brush already. It's just a really big fluffy brush to kind of lightly set your face with. But these were 75% off, which that's a steal for a nice makeup brush. That is just insane. I'm not going to use my new one because I haven't washed it yet, but this is a great brush. If you've never been to a cosmetics company store and you have one near you, I highly recommend checking it out. Basically, they're typically in outlet malls. They have overstock of makeup from all of the Estee Lauder owned makeup brands. So they have MAC, Clinique, Smashbox, Too Faced, Tom Ford, Bobbi Brown. They have all kinds of stuff. They also have some fragrance, like the Estee Lauder owned fragrances. They have some hair brands as well. Bumble and Bumble is one of the brands I see there a lot. So if you've never been and you happen to have one near you, highly recommend checking it out. It's worth a drive. Sometimes they don't have the best selection. You kind of just have to go every once in a while and see what you can find. The day that I went, this one had some really good stuff. We recently moved, as most of you know, and we moved from the Charlotte area to the Greenville, South Carolina area. So if you are on 85, between the two, you go by Gaffney, South Carolina, I believe. Yeah, that's South Carolina. That cosmetics company store at the Gaffney outlets is a good one. So if you happen to be there, definitely stop in there and see what you can find, because that's where I found a lot of really good stuff. All right, from Sephora, I also got well, it's not a new concealer, it's a new shade, the Kosas Revealer Concealer. So I've had this in the past before they expanded their shade range. This is one of the new shades. This is shade 2.6C. And I really want to try this and see what I think about it now. It's been probably at least a year since I've used this. This concealer, I remember liking it, but I did not love the color that I had, so I was curious about trying a new shade. So this one is 2.6C. Something else that happened last time I had this was my cap. One time I was putting the cap back on and mine totally like cracked all the way down the middle, which was kind of weird. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I'm gonna swatch this color for you. So this is 2.6C, which looks like that. It looks like a good color. I went with a cool undertone because I still find even the neutral shades in the new shades, to me, they still run a little bit warm. So that's why I went with a cool shade, because I was trying to get something a little bit more neutral. And I do typically like cooler shades under my eyes anyway, because it helps with darkness. I am going to blend this under the eyes with my Sigma F03. Okay, I think that's definitely a good shade for under my eyes. I think the shade I had before was 1.5 maybe. I don't know, it worked, but it definitely wasn't my favorite shade. All right, yeah, actually, I think that is a good shade. Finally, I feel like I've been wanting the correct shade in this concealer for a very long time, but all right, I figure we'll just try it all over. I haven't used this in so long, I really don't remember if I liked it this way, but I don't have another new concealer, so we'll just try it and see. I was hoping that cosmetics company store that I went to would have my Smashbox Buildable Cheek Brush. I love that one for powder blush, but they didn't have that brush. They did have, and now I'm kicking myself, I should have gotten it. They had the Smashbox Blurring Foundation Brush, which is basically a bigger version of the buildable concealer brush. I've used that brush also for years. It's very similar to this one, to the 106 from BK Beauty. They had one of those and it was 75% off, but I was like, oh, I have all these foundation brushes. I really don't need another one of those. But now I'm like, no, Blair, you probably should have gotten that brush because it's like one of my favorites for foundation. If I don't pick the 106, if I was choosing, I would definitely choose that one from Smashbox. I love that brush. And so now I'm kicking myself. Honestly thinking about driving back there to Zoom to see if they still have them. I was actually, we had not moved yet. This was like a month ago when I went there, and we were on our way back to Charlotte, and I was with my husband and we had our dog with us. And I was like, you know, if you're with your husband, he doesn't want to stop there to go to the cosmetics company store on the way home. But I was like, please, can I stop? And I'll just be like 5 minutes, because I really didn't plan on being in there for very long. I really just wanted to go through and look at their MAC stuff, because I want to do a full face of MAC. So that's what I went there for. And then of course I go in and they have all of this stuff and everything. Those brushes were 75% off, but they had a promotion going on where everything else was 65% off. And yes, I mean like Tom Ford, everything, all the brands, everything was 70 or 65% off. So I was like, yeah, of course. The one time I stop here and I have a husband and a dog out in the car waiting for me. So I was literally going through there like a crazy person, just grabbing things. It was funny. All right, actually, before we move on to everything else, I'm just gonna show you the other stuff that I got at the cosmetics company store while we're talking about it. So this was a free sample, the Bumble and Bumble Invisible Oil, the shampoo and conditioner. She gave me that. This was also a free gift, the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. This is so nostalgic for me because I used to use this in high school. This is such a classic thing. So that was a free gift. Then I got 2 things from Tom Ford. So I got this concealer. This is the Shade and Illuminate concealer. And this is something I've always wanted to try. I have the Tom Ford Traceless Matte Concealer in the stick, and I love that one. So this is what it looks like. Such pretty, heavy Tom Ford packaging, and this was 65% off, which for Tom Ford, that's a pretty good deal. I don't know how well this shade will be under my eyes, but I'm hoping maybe for the rest of my face it'll be okay when I have self-tan on. So that's 1W0 right there. It's the shade Ecru, and that's the shade that I have in the Traceless Matte Concealer, and I feel like it's darker in this formula than it is in that formula. I don't know, but I'll try this in an upcoming video, but I just wanted to show it to you. 65% off. And then they also had the Eye Color Quad, the cream formula in Smoky Quartz. I bought Rose Topaz during the Sephora sale this last time, and I loved it. So I could not pass this up for 65% off. So this is Smoky Quartz. How pretty. It's like still neutral, but a little bit, I don't know how I would even describe this color story. They're neutral, but not as pinky as Rose Topaz, but how pretty is that? And then I got one other thing from MAC when I was in there, which was a single eyeshadow. If you don't know, you can get MAC single shadows there, the Pro refills. You can get those for usually 60, 65, 70, 75% off. It just kind of depends. So if you're in the market for those, definitely check those out there as well. But that's everything that I got from there. But I figured I would just show you. Now we've got 4 different bronzers. Most from Sephora, or actually 3 of the 4 are from Sephora. So we have the new Saie Dew Bronze. I wasn't gonna buy this, but curiosity got the best of me. This I was trying out in store, and this seems really nice. This is Sephora Collection Contour Stick. These are new, like newer in the last few months. These are very nice, and they remind me so much of the Rare Beauty bronzer sticks. If you've tried those, that's what this reminds me of. Then I have 2 powder bronzers. So I also got the Sephora Collection Matte Powder Bronzer. This is also new. This is the new version. I've tried this a long time ago in the original packaging, the black packaging, and I guess they reformulated or repackaged. I don't know. I think this is a different formula because when I swatched this in store, this reminded me of the texture of the new YSL bronzers. I don't have those, but I was messing around with them in store, and the texture on this really reminded me of that. It's like a velvety, soft, velvety is how I would describe the texture, but that is shade 1, and this looked like a really pretty, nice, lighter bronzer. And then I caved and I got one of the NYX ButterMelt bronzers. Now this one I got in the shade All Butted Up, and this is light medium warm is how they describe it. I don't remember thinking in store when I swatched it that it looked that warm, but you know how the lights are in Ulta and Sephora sometimes? Like, I don't know, even in this swatch it doesn't look that warm to me. Maybe it is though. So that's the NYX one. You can see it has a lot of sheen to it compared to the Sephora one, which is just a matte bronzer. But both of those feel incredible. In fact, I wasn't even gonna buy the NYX bronzer, but I was in Ulta and I just walked by and swatched it, and I was so impressed that I was like, no, you know what? We're gonna buy that. In fact, I have some other drugstore stuff too, so I'll probably save this one for the drugstore video. All right, I'm gonna swatch these other two for you. So this is the Sephora Collection Contour Stick in the shade Light Medium. But this is so creamy, so creamy. It really reminds me of the Rare Beauty cream bronzers in the swatch, at least. I have not applied them. They also have a really good contour shade that's below this one in Fair Light. It's like a true gray tone. If you're looking for that and you're a lighter skin tone, that one is a really true contour color. And then the Saie Dew Bronze I got in the shade Sand. And I've heard a lot about this too. I've seen some people saying that it is the same formula as the Dew blushes, and then I've seen some people say that it's not. So that's the shade Sand, that's light medium in the Sephora one, that's All Butted Up in the NYX one, and that's shade 1 Golden Bronze, I believe, in Sephora powder bronzer. All right, so I'm thinking we're gonna go in with the Saie one first in the shade Sand, and typically I don't love applying it directly on my face, but I think we're gonna try that because I know a lot of people are gonna wanna apply it this way. And I'm gonna use the Makeup by Mario F1 brush to apply it. Very easy to blend for sure. Oh yeah, that's nice. That one almost has a little bit of like a red undertone. I think they call this a neutral bronzer, but it has a little bit of red in it. Very easy to blend. In fact, I would say this is even easier than the blushes. I'm wondering if this is a different formula actually, because the Dew blushes are pretty easy to blend, but this is blending like immediately. It's nice. Love that. Okay, now do I use the Sephora one on the other side? I guess we will. Let's use, I think they're similar colors, I think. I'm gonna really break my rules now and do this on the other side. And I'm just gonna use the same brush. There are so many blushes and bronzers out right now. New ones, it's just crazy. I mean, between this, the YSL bronzer, the Armani bronzer, the NYX bronzers, the new Sephora bronzers, like there are so many. I've also been loving this brush, by the way, from Makeup by Mario. This is not new. I've had this for a little while, but the F1 brush, specifically this angled side, is very, very nice for cream, bronzer, and blush. Let's add a little bit more of this Sephora one. I kind of want to see how these Sephora bronzers dry down to see really how they compare to the Rare Beauty ones, because the Rare Beauty bronzers, They dry to almost like a powdered finish once they're blended out. But those are both very nice, very easy to blend, we'll see, but really impressed. I was also gonna mention, these are made in Italy, the Sephora collection products. The bronzer, or actually no, the cream was made in Italy, the powder was made in France. So usually when makeup is made in those places, it's very good quality, so that's something to note as well. All right, we will probably use the Sephora powder bronzer in a minute, but we have some blushes now. I am a bit embarrassed as to how many blushes I have in this bag, but just remember, no judgment zone. I told you, no judgment. I don't judge you, you don't judge me, okay? All right, so number one, I needed this like I need a freaking hole in my head, but this is one of those things that's been on my list forever and ever and ever. It's NARS blush in the shade Thrill. This shade years ago was super popular. Then they discontinued it for whatever reason. You couldn't get it. People were selling these for like $200 on eBay. And I'm not joking. Then NARS reformulated their blushes. They're now talc free and they came out with the shade Thrill again. I was in a Sephora and they had one in stock. So here we are. So it's this very popular viral baby pink, and my excuse to myself was, well, I want to try the new blush formula from NARS anyway because I haven't tried them since they've been reformulated. So here we are. So there it is. It's a very, very, very pretty baby doll pink. Has a little bit of like a lavender undertone, but then we have two of the new Kosas blushes because I honestly truly tried to only get one, but I could not make up my mind. I could not choose, so I was like, okay, I'll get two. So I have the shade Dreamland and the shade Blissed, because these two looked very different to me, so we'll see. So we have Dreamland here and Blissed here. Blissed is, I believe, they describe as a peachy pink. Yes, a warm peachy pink in Blissed and a rosy bronze in Dreamland. But we also have two of these from Haus Labs, the new Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balms. And again, these two shades, I just couldn't pick between the two. So as I've said many times before, I just don't choose when it comes to makeup shades. I get both. That's my very bad habit, but this is what they look like. And these are supposed to be very dewy, glossy, glass skin blushes. So I got Hibiscus or Glassy Hibiscus, and I got Glassy Pomelo. So we have Glassy Pomelo right here, which is a peachy pink, and then Glassy Hibiscus is right there. So you can see they're very dewy, very, very glossy looking. So there's that, and then I'll swatch the Kosas blushes for you too. Oh yeah, so both of these shades look so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm even more excited now. So I swatched them really close together, but that is Glassy Hibiscus right there. Or no, sorry, that's the Haus Labs. That is Dreamland there, and that is Blissed. I will try to insert close-up swatches individually too, so you can see a little bit better. You know what I just thought? Like, these blushes, these Haus Labs blushes actually look like the cream version of these from Kosas. Like, the Dreamland kind of looks like Glassy Hibiscus, and Blissed kind of looks like Glassy Pomelo. Part of me is like, okay, we'll do Dreamland and Hibiscus on one side and Blissed and Pomelo on the other side. And poor little Thrill from NARS is probably not going to make it this video. All right, let's start with Glassy Hibiscus from Haus Labs. And for these, I know people are like drawing them on. I don't know about this type of formula doing that. So I'm going to get this on my hand like this. So they are very glowy and dewy. And I'm gonna take that F1 brush from Mario and get that color on the brush and apply. Yeah, so that is very sheer, dewy, wet blush. Ooh, okay, I love that. I gotta put a little bit of Pomelo on top because I just have to. I'm gonna take the same brush. I've got Glassy Pomelo right here. And I'm gonna use this one kind of on this apple. Oh my gosh. Those are pretty. Those are pretty, and those colors together are real pretty. Let's do the other side. I'm feeling bold, so I guess we'll do it this way. Let's see if I think it moves my concealer underneath. All right, the blend is very easy on these, like not difficult at all. So pretty, I love that. I love both of these colors, honestly. All right, we're gonna take Glassy Pomelo. Is that right? Glassy Pomelo now. And blend those. So these are not very pigmented at all. They are, like they're not sheer in the sense that they have no color at all, but they're not ones that you're gonna have to be super careful with, which honestly, if I had the choice, that's the kind of formula I like the most. But okay, I love those. And actually that applied fine over the top of the rest of my base. Sometimes I find when you draw things on, if you're really aggressive, you will move everything else you have underneath and then you've done all this work for nothing. But those actually applied well like that, so I'm excited about these. All right, this is very random, but I bought an individual Morphe Ariel blush brush. I had this brush and I lost it and I cannot find it, so they sell these individually at Ulta now. So I did get one of these. So I think I might use this brush for the Kosas blush. Now I'm not sure which one to use because we use both of those House Labs blushes. I kind of want to use this first. This is Dreamland. This is the one when I saw these promo photos initially, Dreamland was the one that I was most excited about. So I think we'll do this. I don't know how pigmented these are, so I'm going to start with not very much. And this is a good brush for this because it applies very sheerly. Now, obviously you're not going to be able to tell a ton about what's coming from what because we've got three different blushes on right now. Yeah, so that is a really, from what I can see, I'm mainly looking like back here. That is a very, very, very pretty nude, warm nude. And after I apply this, I'm gonna look up close because I don't know, like glowy blushes can often emphasize texture or things you don't like or you don't want to emphasize on your cheeks. And with this, it's gonna be a little bit hard to tell what's doing what because we have so many things on. But these 4 colors, I didn't even plan it, but they are like a match made in heaven, I think. I mean, those look so good together, guys. Like, ooh. I'm gonna take just a tiny bit of Blissed now. I really shouldn't because I don't need any more blush, but I'm gonna put just a little tiny bit of that right on the apple. Yeah, I know I look crazy. I had to try it, okay? I had to try that. Oh, those 4 colors. Match made in freaking heaven. Seriously. Okay, I'm gonna take my foundation brush now and just kind of tap over everything. All right, my little makeup loving heart is very, very happy right now. I love makeup. I love makeup. I just love it. You know, this just brings me so much happiness. All right, let's move on. Okay, this is not makeup, but I'm gonna show you. I did get this Way Hair and Body Mist in the St. Bart's scent. If you've never smelled this scent, next time you're in a Sephora, go over and smell this. This is the hair body mist. I'm telling you, this stuff smells absolutely incredible. Like, and it lasts. I can smell this on my clothes long after spraying it. It's a very beachy, coconutty smell. So if you don't like that, then you probably won't love it. But I did get that because I love that scent. I have the body cream in that, and I've also used up the body scrub, which I love. You guys have really influenced me on one of these next two products. I finally got this powder because so many of you asked me what I thought of it. This is the Hourglass Veil Powder, the Vanish Airbrush Pressed Powder. This is, I guess, old news now because I'm like the last person to try it. But a lot of you said you wanted to know my thoughts on it. So this is what it looks like. I got the shade Translucent Light. So I have that to try, but I also have this, the Natasha Denona High Glam Powder Foundation. And I really want to try this. I got the shade N3. As you probably know, I love the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. So I had to try the powder. This is the shade N3. I use N2 typically in the concealer. Or I use a few of them. I use N2 or N3. I went with N3 in the powder because the powders looked like they ran a little bit light to me when I looked in store at Ulta. I have one new Makeup by Mario brush. This is his F3 brush. I have the F1 and the F2, and I really wanted the F3. I really like his brushes. So this brush is the F3, and it's basically two powder brushes. One's a little bit larger, one's a little bit smaller, but I thought this would be really good for the T-zone, under the eyes maybe. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do Natasha Denona or Hourglass. Or I guess we could do one on each side. I guess we'll do that. They're not really the same because this is supposed to be a foundation, so this is going to give a lot more pigment, I think, than the Hourglass is, but just to see the two, we'll try it. So I'm going to take the larger end of the Mario F3 brush. I am going to just press this in. Really just the T-zone. And I guess I'll take a little bit under my blush and bronzer. Definitely mattifies. Hopefully you can see. So I didn't go over this area here because I want to keep that glow from those blushes, but definitely did mattify for sure. From a distance it looks really good, but I want to look up close and see. So that side has Natasha Denona and this side has no powder yet. From a distance, it looks really good and the shade looks really good. Let me look up close. Yeah, so that really did just mattify and smooth that whole area. I really like that. Really like that. And it paired well with everything else that we have. So what I was saying is you do get on the bottom here one of these little sponges. These I don't typically use. I might at some point try it, but these pack a punch with the pigment, so you're really going to be packing it on if you use this, but you can if that's what you want to do. All right, then we will use Hourglass on the other side. This one also comes with the little puff thing here. I really like this Mario brush, so I think I'm just going to wipe it off and we'll use this as well. These colors may not be the same, so this might not look the same on both sides, but let's try it. The reviews on the Hourglass seem to be very mixed. People, from what I've seen, either really like it or really don't. So they seem very mixed. If you've tried them and you have a preference, let me know. So we have Hourglass on this side in light and Natasha Denona on that side in 3. Okay, so I'm looking in my mirror here. So my thought is the Hourglass side is definitely more blurred and more matte than the Natasha Denona side. This one did, I would say, slightly blur, but definitely not to the degree that the Hourglass one did. And I was actually thinking it was going to be the opposite, so that's interesting, but there's definitely a difference. Like the Hourglass right here is where I notice it the most. It looks much more matte and smooth than Natasha Denona. This side doesn't look bad, it just has more glow, and you could still see my pores a bit more in this area than you can over here. This side definitely looks smoother with the Hourglass, in my opinion. All right, I will obviously keep trying all these things. These are just first impressions, but you will hear from me again with these things after I've had a little bit more time. I think I am actually gonna take a little bit of the Hourglass powder because I think this might be better for under the eyes with the smaller end of the Mario brush. And I'm gonna use a little bit of powder to set that concealer, just a tiny bit, because I wanna see what I think of it under my eyes, because I'm always on the hunt for my perfect under eye powder, and I find that is very hard for me to come by. Usually I don't like powders under my eyes. I'll have to see how it wears today, but I like it so far under my eyes, just looking at it. I also got this. Now this is so old at this point. It's not old, but it is because everybody has been talking about this for over a month now. The new Fenty Demi Glow highlighter. I don't know why, but I could not get this product off my mind. I would see people use it and I'm like, I don't need another powder highlighter. I really don't. I don't need it. I don't need it. But I just kept thinking about it, and I was in Ulta and I kept putting it in my basket, then putting it back, putting it in the basket, putting it back. So finally I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and try it. So this is the shade that I have. This is shade Prosecco number 2. I almost got number 1, which I think is Pretty Pearls, but I went with this because I liked the more warm golden undertone. So let's put a little bit of this on top. Not that we need any more glow, because we got some glow from those House Labs blushes, but I'm gonna use, well, actually, I wanted my Rare Beauty highlighting brush, but this will work. The Sigma F03 that I use for concealer. I have another one here that is clean, and this is meant for highlight, so we really don't need any more highlight at all. Oh, wow. Okay, I barely touched that highlight. I've seen a bunch of people talking about the fact that these are called Demi Glow highlighters, and there's like nothing demi about it. I mean, that's a highlight. That is a highlight. Yeah, it's pretty, but very, very intense. If you don't like to see your highlight from outer space, probably not going to be the one for you, but it gives that wet look. It honestly kind of looks like a cream on the skin, but it's not. That was something I tried not to buy that. I don't know why. I just could not. I could not get it off my mind. Let's do a little bit, since we have it here and I want to use it, let's use a little bit of this Sephora bronzer. I'm not going to go overboard because I already have a lot on my cheeks, but I do want to at least use a little bit of it. I'm going to use it with this 103 from BK Beauty. And again, this is shade number 1. Okay, that looks really nice. Something that I noticed about this formula when I was in store is it's not a super, I don't know what you would call it, but the formula is kind of like a pressed, velvety feeling formula. It's not super loose in the pan, so when you put your brush in, you don't get a ton of kick up. And I typically don't like bronzers that do that because I find they're harder to apply. And I found that YSL, the new YSL bronzer, was the same way, which is why this reminded me of that. All right, I'm just adding a little bit just so we can see it, but it's applying beautifully from what I can see. Sephora recently redid their whole Sephora collection line, and everything I've tried so far has been really good. Like this, I mean, that looks really nice. This cream bronzer was nice. The new highlighters are nice. Oh, and their new blushes, the new powder blushes, those are nice as well. Wow, we got a lot of good things in this haul. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows quickly off camera. I'll be back and we'll move into eyes. Okay, moving into eyes. I did get this from Danessa Myricks, and I blame Nikki LaRose and Allie Glines for this because I don't remember which video it was, but I think it might have been the one where Nikki does Allie's makeup. You may have seen that video. I'll try to remember to link it below if you have not seen it. Definitely go watch. I love both of them, but Nikki used this color on Allie, and we have similar skin tones, so I've never tried the color fix from Danessa Myricks actually. So this color just looked like a really good nude cream shadow that would be a good base. So it looks like this. This is nude number 3. And these are supposed to be waterproof, matte, liquid pigments that you can use all over the face. So that's it there. Almost looks like a concealer shade, but it's a really pretty, slightly, I was gonna say warm, but it's more of like a neutral beige. So I guess I'm just gonna get a little bit off the back of my hand. I'm gonna use this 206 brush from BK Beauty, and I'm gonna apply this all over. Okay, it's very pigmented. So you need like very, very little product. I do love a good neutral eye product, like a one and done neutral shadow. Like look how pretty that color is. Also just kind of evens out my eyelids because I have a lot of veins and discoloration on my eyes. Really easy to apply also. I bet this is a great base for eyeshadow as well, because I think that's definitely how Nikki used it. She used it before any powder eyeshadows. Less is definitely more with that because I used very, very little and it spreads. Very, very pigmented. All right, the other eye product I have is from Rabanne. I've never tried anything from this brand. This is the Euphoria or Eyephoria Color Shot in the shade Meteor Light. I saw one of my favorite makeup artists, Kellyanne, on Instagram using this, and this color just really caught my eye. It's a really pretty taupey bronze color, which I love. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this. I'm just gonna get it on the back of my hand. I'll swatch this one also. So this is like a moussey kind of texture. So that is it there in the shade Meteor Light, but how pretty is that color? Almost has like an olivey tone to it if you look close. So pretty though. Look at it on my finger. It looks really, really nice. I've never tried anything from Rabanne, but I think eyeshadows are one of their most popular products. They do have the double eyeshadow duos. I actually got one of those in the shade Date Night, and I had to return it because I got home and mine was shattered, unfortunately. But they do have those as well, but those are powder shadows. Okay, I think I'm just going to use this same 206 from BK Beauty to apply this. I'm not going to get a ton of it because if you get a lot, it's definitely very pigmented. So I'm trying to get just a very sheer wash of it. So you could definitely get more payoff from this, but I'm just wanting a light coat of it over the top of that Danessa Myricks, or the Danessa Myricks Color Fix. How pretty is this color? It does dry pretty quickly, I'm noticing, just on the back of my hand, so you do have to work kind of quick with it, but So pretty. Okay, I'm gonna use what's left on that BK Beauty brush, which is not very much, but I'm just gonna run that on the lower lash line. Those two together are so pretty. Love that combo. Now, I don't have any other eyeshadow, so I think I'm just gonna take a little bit of this Sephora collection eyeshadow and just put some of this in the crease just to kind of tie everything together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little eyeliner, mascara, because I don't have a new one of those, and then I'll come back and we will finish up with some lip product. All right, last we have lips, and of course I have several lip products. Actually, I don't have, well, yes I do. I was gonna say I don't have as many as I thought, but of course I do. We only have one lip liner, which is kind of unheard of for me. I have one of the new Kosas hot liners. This is the hyaluronic acid contouring lip liner in the shade Infinite. They recently relaunched these. If you remember, probably a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago, they launched these, and I think there was something wrong with them. Like, they took them off the shelves not long after they were launched. I remember I bought one and it was so dry. It was impossible to apply it. It was, I don't know, something was definitely wrong with them. But I guess this is the reformulated version. So it looks like this, and these, I believe, are, yeah, they're twist up. And this one is supposed to be a pinky brown. I had a hard time picking a shade in this, but that is the shade Infinite. It kind of reminded me of one of my favorite liners, which is Structure from Pat McGrath. Okay, yeah, I can already tell I like this color. So this is actually similar in terms of the tone to my lip color. Naturally, because my lips kind of naturally have like this rosy tone. Definitely very creamy. Kind of reminds me, honestly, of the new Maybelline Lifter liners. I love that color though. I knew when I swatched this one in store, that's exactly the kind of color that I love. Okay, that's nice. I'll wear it, obviously let you know about the wear, but I love the shade Infinite. Now, I have several lip products. I have another shade of the Makeup by Mario Super Satin Lipstick. I have Bronx Baby, and I have, I think they sent me Flat Iron, I'm pretty sure, and they sent me Chelsea, I think, but this is South Shore. Looks like this. I actually got PR from Makeup by Mario a few weeks ago. I don't think I've talked about it in a video. I posted about it on my Instagram, but you guys, if I could just tell you how excited I was, like, that just made my whole month. It was just so exciting for me because I love Makeup by Mario. But this is the shade South Shore, which actually looks like it might be really pretty with this lip liner. But I also have one of these. I caved on these, the YSL Love Shine Candy Glow Care Lip Balms. They have launched so many of these lip launches from YSL. I can't even keep up with them, but this one is in the pink packaging. I have one of the new Love Shine, just the original Love Shines. Now there's this balmy version, and then they also had the Glow, I'm forgetting all the names now, but the one they launched last summer that was more of like a lip balm. I don't know what the difference in this and that is supposed to be, but I loved this color. This is the shade Nude Lavender, I think, number 44. Lavalier, Nude Lavalier. Okay, so that's it there. Also really, really pretty. And then I have a gloss too that I used my Ulta points for, which is this Chanel gloss. This is the Rouge Cocoa Gloss in the shade 722 Noce Muscata. A bunch of you told me you thought that I would like this gloss shade in my Chanel video a few weeks ago. So, and it is pretty. I was in an Ulta and I swatched it and I loved the color. You can definitely tell I have a type based on my hand right now. Look at my hand. Clearly I like rosy, nude, kind of mauve-y colors. So that's the Chanel gloss there. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to use. I kind of want to use this YSL first, but then I'm like, maybe I should do the Makeup by Mario lipstick and then put this on top, maybe. I think that's what we'll do. Okay, so this is the shade South Shore. I've been searching for my perfect Makeup by Mario lipstick color, and I still want to try Midtown. That's the other pinky one that I haven't tried yet. All right, let's top it with this YSL. So these have the same kind of, not citrus, it's like a mango smell. Actually, those three go very well together. Should we throw a little Chanel gloss on top? Yeah, might as well. Oh yeah, that feels nice. All right, that is everything. That was a lot, a lot. So when I do these videos, I like to end them by kind of going through the things that we tried, and I'll give you my initial thoughts and the things that I am most excited about. A lot of this stuff was really good. Really good, just based on my first impression. I didn't have much here that I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But again, this is just trying these things for the first time. So starting with the SPF, this was not new. It is new, but I've been trying this. This was not a first impression. This is a very, very nice tinted SPF. If you like something tinted and you like all mineral, this is a good one. My makeup applied well over it today, and it's applied well over it every time I've used it the past few weeks. So I really like this. Do I think you have to spend this amount of money on an SPF? No, I still love my Korean SPFs. I love my Skin 1004. I love that, but this is tinted and it's an option that's a little bit more accessible. Sometimes those Korean sunscreens, you have to order them. They take a long time to ship. So there's that, but this is nice. From N Beauty. The Chanel Water Fresh Tint. I don't really know what to make of this yet. I liked it. It didn't do much in terms of coverage, which I didn't think that it would. It really just, I don't even know how to describe what I feel like it did for my skin, but I do think it overall kind of evened my skin tone ever so slightly. And it smoothed my skin ever so slightly. It's nothing drastic or dramatic. It's definitely very, very subtle. Today, obviously, I just did this and used concealer over the top. That's how I envisioned using this. So I'll keep trying it and let you know my thoughts. But I do think if you're someone that loves something super light, fresh, very, very, very little coverage, you want just a little something on your skin and you want it to look as natural as possible, you will probably love this product. It is truly, like it says, a tint, and it looks like nothing on your skin. The Kosas concealer, I tried again, and I am so happy I did, because this shade in 2.6 is a perfect shade match for me. Perfect shade match, and I loved it today over the top of the Water Fresh tint. So very happy that I bought a new shade. Now, all the bronzers, we didn't try the NYX one, so I don't know about that yet. But of the bronzers that I tried, honestly, they all are good. And this was the first time I tried them. I guess of the two creams, I don't know. If I had to pick one, I guess I would pick the Saie, just because I don't know, I like the texture of this. It's a cream, liquidy cream, a little bit of a thicker liquid texture. And it just, I don't know, it just blended so easily and effortlessly. So did this one though. I don't know, I'm having a very hard time picking between these two. I'll have to keep wearing them and let you know. I think this might be a new hidden gem though from Sephora collection. If you're looking for a powder bronzer, you want something on the matte side, these are really nice. I'm telling you, I didn't buy the YSL bronzer because this reminded me of that when I swatched them in store. So if you're wanting to get the YSL but you don't want to spend that much money, these are like $14 from Sephora, and these are very good. Very impressed with that. Now the blushes, we didn't try the NARS, so I won't include that, but the blushes are probably what I'm most excited about in this whole video, to be honest. I think, I don't know if I just picked the right shades to go together, but I love this blush combo on my cheeks. Not that you need 4 blushes, you don't need to apply 4. I just did it because I bought them, but if you like a dewy, glowy, glassy, wet skin look, I bet you will love these from Haus Labs. If you do not, then you definitely will not like these from Haus Labs. So these are a look. These are only going to appeal to a certain customer. But if you are that customer, I am that customer. They are really, really pretty. Now, some of the glow you see is coming from that highlighter from Fenty, but I like these more than I thought I was going to. And the Kosas blushes, obviously we layered them, so it's kind of hard to know what they look like when you layer over other products, but they did pair beautifully over the Haus Labs Glassy blushes. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited about all 4 of these, to be honest. I want to use them individually, especially these Kosas blushes. I want to use these with no other blush underneath. So that will be coming in future videos, but so far, first impression is very good. The Fenty highlighter, beautiful, but it is very, 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 very intense. Like, I would probably say majority of that right there that you're seeing is the Fenty highlight. So if you're not into that, this is not a demi highlighter. I don't know why they called it that, because it's definitely not demi in any way, shape, or form. This is You Can See Me from Outer Space highlighter, but I will say it's beautiful for a powder. It looks more like a cream on the skin. What else? Okay, the powders. Let's talk about the powders. Y'all, I am shocked to say this, but right now, of the 2 sides, so this side has Hourglass, this side has Natasha Denona. I'll try to zoom in the clip here so maybe you can see a little bit better. I like both, but I feel like I prefer the Hourglass side. And I don't know, maybe I used the same brush. I think I used about the same amount of powder, and I don't know how they wear, so I can't use that in micro cheek here, but I do like the side of the Hourglass a little bit better. It just looks a little bit more smooth and a little bit more matte, which is what I like in this area, because if I do get shiny throughout the day, it's in my T-zone. So of the 2, the one that impressed me the most right off the bat is the Hourglass, but I want to try the Natasha Denona as a true powder foundation all over. So we'll do that in another video, but this one is not as matte as I thought it would be, and it's not as smoothing as the Hourglass on me. For the eyes, I liked both of these. Is it anything that we've never seen before? No. However, I will say this is a great, I need a little bit of color. I need to even out my eyelids, and I want to do it really quick. This is a good product for that because you need the smallest amount and it spreads over your whole eye. So less is more with this. I have only used it this one time, so I can't comment on the wear, but I do really like this color in Nude 3. It's a really nice, light, neutral beige. So I liked that, but this really surprised me, honestly. This from Rabanne, this is such a beautiful color. It's a gold, but it has a little bit of a green tint to it, but it can also look kind of taupey. I almost think this is one of those things that kind of changes color depending on what you pair it with. But this was very, very nice. It's kind of a liquid, moussey texture, but then it dries. And you can get a lot of pigment, or you can wear it kind of sheer, like I did over the top of the Danessa Myricks. Okay, and then lips. Kosas liner, I love the color. I love lip liner though. I get very excited about a new lip liner. I'll let you know how this wears, but application, very good. Creamy, but not too creamy. It seems like it's just the right amount of creaminess and waxiness. Definitely much better, much improved from the original hot liner formula. So I'll let you know about the wear on that. And then, okay, we've got 3 different lip products on my lips. The Makeup by Mario lipsticks I've tried before. This one in South Shore is beautiful. These are very hydrating lipsticks, but they're very opaque. So you get a lot of pigment with these, but they're very comfortable on the lips. I really like his formula. That I've already tried though. The YSL we put over the top. I like this. It feels very similar to all the other YSL lip products though. It feels very similar to the Love Shine lip oil lipsticks, and I don't really know what the difference is between that and this. They feel the same. I have a different shade. This is shade 44, but honestly the packaging is kind of what drew me to these. This light baby pink. So nice, but honestly with these YSL lipsticks, if you have one, you probably have them all, just being real. So if you have one of these, I don't think you need to collect multiple. I think they're very similar to each other. And then, okay, the Chanel gloss we put on top of that. I want to use this on its own so I can really see the color, but I love the feel of this. It's kind of a thicker feeling gloss, which I like, but it doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel sticky. And this color, this nudie, kind of a mauve rose, love. All right, that is everything. That was a lot, but wow, was it fun. That was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me, trying a ton of new makeup. I hope you enjoyed. I will have everything I used linked for you as always in the description box and on YouTube shopping. If you shop through my links, they do support my channel. I do make a commission, so thank you so much. It really does help me when you do that. As always, I will keep using these products in future videos and when I'm not filming, and I'll let you know my updated thoughts in the future, but these are just my initial thoughts and first impressions. Thank you for watching. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1, and I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you.